There's more than the 52,000?
There's like 115,000 more. That is the
Did you guys even know that?
I put it in the
That's
original
crazy.
list. Yeah, of
That's insane.
that in yeah, total it
Oh
should
my
be like 100. Yeah.
Why did you need the infinite amount of schooling with all this money that needed to be borrowed? You didn't need your master's degree to do what you're doing now.
I didn't know that at the moment. They kept convincing me that
Who
I
did?
I got DeVry
Oh,
University.
your school, the one that wanted you to keep giving them money.
Mhm.
Isn't that a private institution?
Yeah.
So, no they were selling you. Me.
For those of you who don't know, DeVry University is a for-profit college. They basically accept anyone, take their money, and give them a diploma that most employers don't recognize as an actual college achievement. So, she has $200,000 of debt and worthless diplomas.
Hey besties, project help me pay my debt here. I need 5 seconds of your time. I was never good at math. We can blame the fact that I was 14 and pregnant and 15 and no longer in school for that. However, based on the calculations that I have done in my mind, I only need about 4.7 trillion of you to watch this video. And you might be wondering, Alexis, what did you do to get in such debt? Let me explain. So at the end of 2009, I met a guy, and by 2010, January 2010, we were dating. We hit it off really well. However, things changed quickly. Within a year, he put me in the biggest financial hole that I think I'll ever be in. And without you guys, I really don't know that I'll ever be able to pay off this debt.
She said she needs 4.7 trillion of us to watch her video in order to pay off her debt. The world only has approximately 8 billion people. So she needs every man, woman, and child to watch her video 588 times. Gee, that's doable. Not.
So I had 3 credit cards. One was around $1,000. The other one was around another $1,000. I had another credit card that was like $15,000. That was where all the shenanigans was happening. And then I had a line of credit that was around $10,000. And then my car loan was around $17,000.
Wow. And you were making a good salary at the time, right?
And I finally had a job where it was like I had enough to like have a nice apartment. I could afford a car. I was like, well, yes, we are no longer going to struggle.
Yeah, the struggle I've done.
So I was like, I spent a lot of money trying to get like this big ass condo that I had no business getting into, but all the high end furniture. I was booking trips. I was living my best life.
Yes.
The problem is I was not looking at what was coming in and what was going out. So I was spending more than I was making.
Which a lot of people are guilty
And
of.
that was just what got me into where I was. It wasn't really anything tangible for me. It was a lot of clothing. It was a lot of Sephora. It was a lot of traveling. There wasn't anything that I could look back and say, okay, this thing got me into debt.
In other words, she spent a ton of money on a lot of stupid shit, including her long fake hair and her long fake nails. Brilliant, honey.
I get asked literally all the time how the hell I was able to accumulate $50,000 of credit card debt in like a 6-year span. And let me be the first to say, like, preface this by, I know I did not make the wisest decisions back then. 18-year-old me, 22-year-old me running around with a credit card. Like, I get it. I know I don't need the hate, but okay, so I was very naive. I'll do this in like a couple part series, so it's not like a freaking TED talk over here. But I was very naive with the fact of, I know I was going to be making more money, right? I was 18 years old, got my first job as a dental assistant, making $28,000 a year. But I was obviously spending way above my means. So when I got into $50,000 of debt, this was not like over a 1-2 year span. No, it started off small. My very first credit card, the limit was only like $250, right? And then as you start using it, they start to give you more credit. And then as you start to get more credit, you're like, oh, this is cool. Let me get another card. Oh, this one's got a cash back card. Let me get another card. And the next thing I knew, I had like 4 credit cards. I had like a Victoria's Secret card. I had an Amazon card. Like I had all these cards, okay? And I kept telling myself, I know I'm going to be making more money. I know I'm going to be making $100,000 a year. When I make more money, I'm going to pay these off. When I make more money, like I'm already going to live my life the way as if I was already making that kind of money, because I just knew it was inevitable for me. But what I did not realize is the more money I started to make, it didn't matter. That is when the big amounts of debt came in. I didn't have 50 grand of debt when I was 19, making $28,000 a year. No, when I started making over $100,000 a year was when it started to pile on so freaking fast. And again, it's because, again, looking back now, I know these were not the best choices, but I'm just telling you my story because it is what it is. And I hope somebody out there, well, I don't hope you can relate, but I hope it makes it relatable so you know that you're not alone.
This woman is a classic example of why all high school students should have to pass a finance class in order to graduate.
Let's do an update on how broke I am so that you can feel better about your finances. And I have been not wanting to do an update or really talk about finances at all in the last week and a half because honestly, I'm just embarrassed about it and I want so badly to be out of this position, but it is not something that happens overnight, unfortunately. We have increased our income, we've cut down on expenses, but all of our extra money is going towards paying off our debt, which means we still have no extra money. We're also not using credit cards at all. And so the money that we were able to spend going on those credit cards is now also decreased. So it is just not a good situation. And today is just today I'm pissed about it, honestly. So right now we do not have any groceries. And I don't mean oh, we don't have stuff that's easy to make quickly. No, we actually don't have food to make. So I'm at Aldi. I need to get some groceries and, I just checked my checking account and I'm currently negative $8 because something came through that I wasn't expecting. So thankfully I have money in our savings account that I set aside for taxes on the money that I've earned from TikTok, which is still not enough to cover all of that, by the way. But I'm going to be borrowing some money from that so that we can get groceries, and then I will just have to pay it back when I get paid from my actual job. It is days like this where I literally just want to scream because we're digging ourselves out and I'm seeing progress and I'm grateful for that. There's at least light at the end of this very, 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 very long tunnel. But I'm just pissed about it. And so I just wanted to share this because I've been hesitant to even talk about it because I'm embarrassed about it. But I know that there are so many people who are in the same spot. If you look at the first video that I posted, there's a lot of us. So I don't want to seem like everything was just magically fixed because it was not. And our situation still sucks. There is just a little bit more hope because we were able to increase our income a little bit. And I'm so grateful for that. But, yeah, there's still days where it fucking sucks. So, yeah, that's all I have. I hope you have a good day.
Sounds to me like she's robbing Peter to pay Paul. Also, my guess is that most of the poor financial decisions in her marriage were made by her and not her husband. But now he has to deal with those poor decisions.
I have $40,000 in credit card debt. 40. So let's talk about it. First of all, that is a statement that I thought I would be taking to my grave. I never thought I would tell another soul. And in fact, until today, I have never told another soul about my struggles with credit card debt because this is not the beginning. If we rewind all the way back to about 19 or 20-year-old Lana, that is when my journey with credit card debt began. I was 19 years old and I was dating a man who was 31 and he did not support me or help me financially in any way, and I was trying to live his lifestyle off my minimum wage job and I was living outside my means, to be quite frank. I got myself into credit card debt. I stayed in credit card debt until I was about 21, at which point I was able to pay it off over the course of just really cutting back and being very diligent about making as many extra payments as I could to my debt. And then I got out of it and I was like, oh my gosh, that's the most freeing thing. I'm never doing that again. And then I did. And then I paid that debt off. And you know what? I repeated the cycle again. I'm in my third cycle of credit card debt. And at this point, my threshold has just gotten so big. Your threshold for debt increases with time, right? It's just like your threshold for anything else that creates stress in your life. Over time, your body has to adapt to the current conditions. So your threshold for what it can hold expands. So right now, the number 40 probably feels staggering to some of you, but it's not a number that I feel fear around. So why am I sharing this with all of you? Well, because this debt that I've carried on and off for almost all of my 20s has cultivated so much shame for me.
The fact that she has $40,000 in credit card debt and it doesn't really seem to bother her shows how financially clueless she really is.
I'm back in debt. So here's my confession. I have put myself back into debt as of today. This is an intentional debt that I've put myself back into. I have 3 mortgages on the one property that I own, and 2 of them are up for renewal in June. One of them is actually only at £4,600, so it makes sense for me with the mortgage interest rates to pay that off in full. However, in order to do that, I've had to put myself back into credit card debt. And before you say, yes, I'm very aware you cannot pay off a mortgage with a credit card, I've actually used a money transfer. I've transferred £3,000 from one of the old credit cards that, no, I didn't cut up. With that £3,000 and some money from my emergency fund, I'm able to pay off that £4,600 part of my mortgage in full. Although it could be seen as taking a step backwards, for me it feels like the right financial decision to make. In the long term, I will be making a saving on that mortgage and the interest rate associated with it. My channel is all about sharing my story and being transparent, so I would have felt wrong if I hadn't told you about this decision that I've made. So as of today, I am now in credit card debt of £3,105. I plan to find fun and creative ways to pay this off quicker, so follow along if you're interested.
As Gen Zers like to say, her math ain't mathin'. Also, what bank decided to give this woman a 3rd mortgage?
I'm literally broke. I don't have no money saved in my bank account. I'm young and I cannot buy a house because I don't make enough money. I don't make enough money to buy a house, and I'm super broke. I don't have no money saved, and I work paycheck to paycheck to pay my rent. This is what people are saying on the internet, okay? They're talking about how they don't have no money. Like, it's so many young people who don't have no money. And I'm gonna tell you why. It's because we're overspending on other things. We're overspending, we're overdoing it. A lot of us is going out on trips, buying a lot of food, eating takeout all the time, paying for things that we should not be paying for, doing too much all the time. Like, what happened to us, like, treating ourselves every blue moon? Like, treating ourselves has become a thing every single day. Every single day, young people are wanting to treat themselves with something. And that's the problem. We're overspending, boo. You're overspending. That's what it is. A lot of times it's not people's rent. We're overspending. We're seeing the amount, we're paying the bills, and then we're like, oh, this leftover money, I could use it for something instead of saving. I seen this video. This girl was talking about how she don't have no money saved in her bank account but some change. And she showed her bank account. And then she has a credit card, $5,000 in debt off of a credit card. I don't even know how is that possible. Like, and she was young. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, I hate credit cards. I hate it because it's a setup, and you would never see me get no credit card. No. I already got to pay school loans. I already got to pay them back. I'm not getting no more credit, nothing. Like, I'm not playing these games with the government. Like, a lot of us young people, we use too much money. We look at leftover money and we think it's free, and it's not. It should be saved for a rainy day. It should be saved for emergencies. That's the problem. That's why we can't afford nothing. That's why we can't afford assets, and we only can afford a car payment and a house and the bills that come with the house, because we're not saving our money. We're not investing in anything. A car is not an asset. I don't know who is saying that on the internet, but that is nothing. When you have a car and it's new and you paid it off, it's still not an asset, honey. A house is an asset, okay? But yeah, it's too much shopping going around with the millennials and the Gen Z. That's the problem with us.
She hit the nail on the head. Most people don't have an income problem. They have a spending problem. Bravo, honey.
$250,000 in debt? How did this happen?
What's going on?
I need money. I need help.
Of course, honey. How much do you need?
$250,000.
$250,000? We don't have money like that.
Mom, I'm in a really bad situation.
Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. I really wish I could help you.
Sari, how many billionaires are in Texas?
Texas has 48 billionaires, with almost half of the billionaires deriving their wealth from the energy industry, a net worth of $176.1 billion.
Where are you going?
Texas.
Do you take this man as your husband?
Yes. Yeah, I do.
Now, we all know that this is satire, but the truth is that most women with massive debt have only two main ways to get the debt paid off: their parents or future husbands. Gentlemen, don't be the latter. Well, that wraps up this video. Let's end it with a comedian making fun of today's topic. Enjoy.
I owe $206,000 in student loans. That's the joke, you guys. That's nothing I write will ever be funnier than that number. It's ridiculous. At one point, I got so desperate that I looked into being a surrogate mom to like make money with my body. Fun fact about that, they only pay 40 grand per baby. Did you guys know they only pay 40 grand per baby? So if you do the math, that's a fifth of my loans. Like, one baby. Yeah, I could do a baby. We're talking a 5 baby payment. That is steep, man. Like, yeah, I'd be debt free, but my vagina would just look like a broken umbrella.